Hello, thank you for taking the time today to take a quick look at the Etail Solutions data warehouse with the integrated dashboard feature. Today we're just going to look at some predefined dashboards that have already been built and are available with the product. And then we'll also go into the designer so that you can see how easy it is to build your own views and look at your data from any number of different perspectives. So to start, I thought we'd just open up the profit drill down. Now this particular dashboard is designed to show you by date range, and you can adjust your date range here by just simply dragging. It'll show you by date range sort of the profitability, and this is a rolled up number, so total sales, total cost, and profit, and then there's some visualization of that data. This allows me to click into a single row here, or a single date, if you will, and see that all of these are the pie charts, and this is called a card up here, which is just a summary number, and then the bar graphs are updating as I click into these. Now I can also double click and drill into that particular day. Now from here I can see the next layer is the sales orders sorted by total sales. I can drill into that individual transaction, see by SKU. Again, we're looking at sales, costs, and profit at every single one of these different levels. And then I can even click into the SKU and see the sales SKU, or the individual listing that was sold on this dashboard. So that's one perspective. We've also got an item trend drill down, and the goal of this was to show, starting at the manufacturer level, kind of where I'm making the most money, or actually it's sorted by sales. Here's my profit. I can see overall for all of this, here's what my sales by date. So I'm looking at a trend here to see when these products are selling. We've also got the similar profit and loss and the breakdown by sales channel over here. As I click into the individual manufacturer, I can see the individual products, again, sorted by sales. I can see the individual days. If I click just once on these, I can click and see when each of these products is actually selling. And I can go a layer deeper and see sales SKUs. And one layer deeper will show me the actual transactions themselves. Just a different look on actually the same data. Supplier drill down. This is a slightly different perspective, looking at it from a supplier perspective. So here's your, the individual suppliers, and then we're seeing total sales, costs, profit and loss, drilling into individual transactions. Again, here's my trending down here, but then I've also got a revenue breakdown that's showing me costs, commissions, and profits. In this particular case, the shipping costs are boiled into the item cost for this particular merchant, so we're not seeing that. But then you can see by manufacturer here as well, kind of what's going on. And I can drill in again and see the sales SKU. So that's another perspective. Sales channel drill down. This is a completely different way of approaching it. We're using that same drill down capability, but we're doing this from the actual pie chart itself. You're also looking at the items that were sold and a trend. If I click into one of these days, or sorry, one of these channels, it's going to show me the items sold for that particular channel. If I drill into that, I can actually see then by manufacturer, see a pie chart, which is just sort of the visual representation of what's going on. I can click into that individual manufacturer, and that's going to show me the items that are selling. So again, all of these are just different ways to visualize essentially the same data. These are all actually being viewed off of the same view of data, and we can build many different types of views for you to be able to look at. So this is primarily sales data. There's also fulfillment data and fulfillment channel data in this particular view, as well as the items, and of course all of your revenue and expenses and profitability. But if you take that same concept and you were to think about how you analyze your inventory, or how you analyze your purchasing capabilities, or your pricing or competitive repricing, there's all sorts of different things you could do with this data. Every single one of these views was built off of one set of data. So let's go into the designer for just a moment and just see how easy this is. I'm going to just select a grid as a starting point. And for the grid, I think we're going to just do something simple here. We'll do we'll pull sales order date, and we're going to change this to day, month, year. And from here, then I'm going to do, I think I'll go one layer deeper on this, and we'll just do a skew. From there, we're going to grab total sales. Actually going to drag total sales on twice. And then here, I'm just going to come in and say, you know what, I want to visualize this. I'm going to look at this as a bar. And I'm going to grab my total cost. And I'm going to grab my profit and loss. Where are we? Here we are. Okay, so a decent starting point. We've got some nice data there. Now I'm going to go into my data and I'm going to say, you know what, I want this to be a master filter. I'll explain that in just a moment. And I want this to be a drill down. So now what happens is that the dashboard tool rolls this up so that I can click into individual dates and then I can see the items. Now I can navigate up here, and what I noticed when I clicked into this is kind of haphazard. So I want to provide some order to this, so I'm going to actually have the system sort based upon, I'm going to sort in a descending order, and I'm going to sort by total sales. So now when I click in, there we go. So we've got our grid. Now I'm going to add a range filter. Now the range filter is just a nice little slider that allows me to select any number of different metrics. I usually go by sales. And let's change this and make it a different view there. And then I'll grab the sales order date. And with dates, bring that down to day, month, year. And now I'm just going to resize this slightly. All right. And then I'm going to start adding some graphs. So let's do this. And I'm going to bring this down to the bottom. And from here, I think what I'm going to do is just grab sales. Let's grab this by date. And you may say, well, we've already done that. We're going to take a slightly different view on this, though. I'm going to change this to actually show the hours of the day. Let's bring this up by 1. Now, when I click on these individual days, you see how this is changing down below? That's due to that master filter. So what it's doing is it's treating this grid as the filter, which will drive all of the other components that I drag onto the screen. So we've got now, as I click into individual days, I'm seeing the hours as to when my sales are actually happening. So now I'm going to add down here, I just click on this so it's highlighted. I'm going to add another one, and we're just going to grab the number of orders. So we're going to do a count. This is the count of orders. And I'm also going to grab my total sales in here. Now instead of using a sum, I'm going to just use an average. And then let's change how this is viewed and just make it a line. So as I drill up here and look at all of these, I can see here's my sales in terms of my revenue, and here is my order quantities, or the number of orders that I've got, as well as I can see how my average order value has fluctuated during those time frames. And lastly, let's throw a pie chart in here, and let's just do total sales by sales channel. There we go. So we've built kind of a simple grid, or a grid that's going to drive the navigation of the rest of this dashboard. And then what we can do is we can come up here, and I'm just going to save as, and we'll just call this demo grid. Now this option here, if I select this global, that means everybody that's logged in is going to be able to see this. If I don't select this, it's going to be just me. And so now if I come and I view this, now I don't see all the designer stuff. I'm just going to see this full screen. And now I can actually just use the tool itself. So pretty powerful tool. Again, we're just looking at one view of data. If we take a look at other views, we can do all sorts of different things, and you can even combine different views in order to sort of cross-analyze your data, if I could say it that way. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions or would like to talk to an Etail representative to get this implemented, by all means, give us a ring, and we'll look forward to talking to you. Thanks much.